Peace to you. This is Yusuf out there here at my channel. My God save Serbia and Syria. And this is going to be about transgendered people. Many of you, well, not many, there have been at least 10, maybe 15 people who had tracked me down. Asking me, or wanting to contact me about the video that I made, called Re-Hormones and the Like, and it was to Moonfire 1777, because I was so astounded by it, and it's a pretty shoddy video. I was kind of was worried about the scars that were on my face. It's nice to have this kind of thing because you can't really tell. I was wearing a hat and these cheap sunglasses, and I was laying on the side of a bed, and it was in the old place where I used to live like a year ago. But I will I'll actually put a link to the video below. And recently, Archbishop Lazar, I'm Eastern Orthodox, and the Eastern Orthodox Church is a very ancient church. I would say it's the most ancient historically. I mean, there's the only one that could claim to be as ancient would be the Roman Catholic Church in Rome and the Vatican, but they seem to have changed many things, and they've changed a lot of things since then. So I don't know how ancient I can ascribe them to be. I don't want this to be a slam on Roman Catholics at all. But somebody wrote a very mean message to Archbishop Lazar, since Archbishop Lazar came to my defense when I speak about transgender people, because transgender people are not homosexuals. The description was of the message, or of the video that he made. The video that he made is another response, re-transgender. And the description says, some responses are worthy of detailed answers and discussion. However, others, while cast in smarmy language and mean-minded, are unworthy of such. Are unworthy. Such is one that I have responded to here. The mean-minded, smarmy language was done by a self-proclaimed Gnostic. As many of you might not know, if you're transgendered watching this, proselytizing is against orthodoxy. But I just want it to be known, to let people know that there is a church out there that is not liberal, it is not modern. It is not like the Metropolitan Church or the Episcopalian Church, where the Episcopalian Church 100 years ago would have condemned anybody for being transgendered. They would have just seen it as homosexuality, and they kind of changed with the times, whereas the Eastern Orthodox Church is not allowed to change. There's that old joke, how many Orthodox does it take to change the light bulb? Change? What is change? There is no amending of our teachings. But we've known about hermaphrodites and transgendered people. I'm Antiochian, which is the see of Antioch displaced to Damascus. And for some reason that there's, at least for a period of time, since it was in a lot of laws and everything, transgendered people were recognized. It was never considered a form of homosexuality, and it is not. And there's a great video, and maybe I'll put Archbishop Lazar's video link below, and I'll put the link to the initial video I made, Re-Hormones and the Like. In that video, I was trying to speak from an a-religious point of view, And I said, what if the soul was trapped in the body of a male, or, like a female soul in a male body, or a male, which is incorrect. It's actually biological. It's the brain. It's chemistry and things, neurobiology, which is not a strong topic of mine. But I prefaced it by saying this. I'm not speaking from the religious point of view. I actually had the Orthodox point of view, though, but I used the wrong nomenclatures or languages, and I actually apologize for that in the video, saying I don't know what these things, mean. But I was just so astounded by Moonfire 1777. I said, this is not, because I've been ignorant of transgender people. I thought it was like being a drag queen or something like that. I didn't understand it, But I watched it, and even like every like her eyes, her hand, everything, her voice, there was nothing male about it. This is a female. And I realized that Western Christianity has brought immense hurt and pain to both transgender people and homosexuals. Homosexuals cannot change. We shouldn't try to change them. But this video is not about homosexuality, it's about transgender people. There is the ancient form of Christianity that has not changed, that is not trying to be politically correct, that is not, trying to change with the times, and it pains me to see people who are like Baptists, and the Baptists have only been around maybe 300 years, where we've been around for 2,000, and has been no change since. I mean, if I'm taking a very skeptical view, if you take a very skeptical view, there's been no change for 1,500 years. I just want to let you guys know that there's a place where you can go, and I've noticed that many transgender people are very spiritually inclined and love God, but they don't feel that they have a place to go. I've heard one say, well, I could go to the Metropolitan Church or the Episcopal Church of America, but I know that they're just changing they're ignoring what they had previously believed just to get members, or just to be more comfortable, or they'll deny essential things. I've had a transgender person say, I believe in the virgin birth, I believe in the resurrection of Christ, I love Christ, I think Christ is the way, the truth, and the light, and I'll go into an Episcopalian church, and they'll be okay with me being transgendered, but they're not Christian. Or if I go to like the Baptist church, which will affirm, Christ's resurrection, I'll be screamed at and, looked down upon, or somebody will, the best that I'll get is, oh, well, that's just them, and God needs to heal them or correct them. No. The Eastern Orthodox Church is a sanctuary, and it's a sanctuary for anybody and everyone. Archbishop Lazar is a very wise man to talk to. He knows a lot about things, and he had to respond to a very mean message he got from a Gnostic. But I'll put the link below. Transgender people are not homosexuals. And the question that Archbishop Lazar poses to people, and I actually pose to people also, is they said, what happens? I mean, we know that there's people who are born 80% male, 20% female, or 80% female, 20% male. What are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to apologize for that? These people who don't want to deal with these uncomfortable issues, so they rain hell and terror on people who, people say, oh, you choose to be gay, or you choose this or that. I myself am heterosexual. I don't know what your struggles are like. But I know that, like, I wouldn't be able to have sex with a man. It wouldn't turn me on. I wouldn't be able to get hard or perform the sex act. I'd actually probably be, you know, it would disgust me. That's not a judgment on homosexuality. That's just my own thing. I think that might be too intimate to discuss, but that's true. I'm not sexually attracted to men. And in the video I talk about, the first initial video that I made, which was on a different channel that I had, talked about, like, well, what if I'm the exact same way I am now, yet I was born into, like, a female body, or it wouldn't be a lesbian, I'd still be, and it's a very tough issue to deal with, and I have no idea how, to Moonfire77, I said she has a lot of skill, style, and bravery for what she's done and what she's going through. I don't even know if she's still on here, but I've noticed that there's been a lot of transgenders that have come to the Orthodox Church because they said, well, this isn't watered down, this isn't trying to cater to me, this is just the love that was taught. And it's actually very sad that in the West they think that the early church was something like Bible-thumping Baptists who were screaming about hellfire. When if you begin to learn about the Eastern Orthodox Church, our definition of sin is not the same. It never was transgression of the law. It means to miss the mark. It's a term in archery. All souls go back to God. Heaven and hell are really insufficient words to describe anything of our afterlife. Like I said, there's no proselytizing, but I feel the need to make this video because there's a place where you can come. And if you're inclined to pray, and nobody's gonna, or it would be against the church if they were to do this, to try to give you any type of a hard time. And that's what the church is there for. I don't like people say, well, it's a hospital for sinners. Okay, yes, I understand that, but it's not it might not a hospital for you. It might be a relief from you from the hellfire of the world trying to cram things down your throat. And in a day and age when American Christianity has gotten intertwined with the Republican Party, which is beyond disgusting, there is Eastern Christianity. It's called the Eastern Orthodox Church. Usually the Antiochians are more accepting. There are churches that are basically like ethnic clubs. I've seen many Greek churches like this. But there's a place where you can come, and we love you as people, and there's no talk of change or how can you be less like that, as if you're a sin, as if you're a walking abomination. Now, I'm here to tell you that according to the ancient church, according to the Eastern Orthodox Church, which has not changed its teachings ever, we love you, and we think it's a horrible crime and a sin for when people torment and torture you and try to tell you it's a choice, or badmouth you, or speak all types of evil against you. And when they do this, just remember that the same thing happened to Christ. They spoke all evil against him. Persecution is not fun. But we are told to rejoice, because that is what they did to Christ. Even if you are not a Christian, even if you are an atheist, not an anti-theist, but an atheist, I can understand why people would absolutely hate Christianity, because the Western forms of Christianity that they've been presented with have either been hate-filled, or they've basically said, well, we're going to water everything down away from Christianity to be politically correct. Well, we're not politically correct. Many people mistake us for being modern liberalists, but they don't realize that this hate is not a part of Christianity and never was. And say, well, what about this? Well, the Eastern Orthodox Church had formally broken from the Roman Catholic Church in 1054, but it was a long time coming. The actual true, if you want to talk break in worldview and ideas and in actions, actually was probably about 600 years before that. It was probably the 4th or 5th century, maybe, might even be the 6th, but I'm going to say the 4th or 5th century. And I pray for you guys constantly, and it's not to change or to find Christ, that the oppression stop, that the hatred, the bigotry stops. Anybody who heaps any type of hatred or violence or mean words, or even if they're trying to be kind, I mean, we're told the road to hell is paved with good intentions. They can be as well intended in the world as they want and wind up destroying your life. My heart grieves for you. If the links aren't down there when you see this, please remind me. Peace to all of you. May God save Serbia and Syria. And if anybody needs to talk, I'm here. I consider transgender people to be very brave people. And maybe you guys should start sharing your stories. And I think it's fantastic that I've gotten messages, and I feel blessed for these messages saying, you know, I found the Orthodox Church, and it's the one that I don't feel like a monster in. And I almost cried because you should never feel like a monster. You are who you are. Peace to you. Peace to you. This is Yusuf out there here at my channel. May God save Serbia and Syria. And this is going to be about transgendered people. Many of you, well, not many, there have been at least 10, maybe 15 people who had tracked me down, asking me, you know, or wanting to contact me about the video that I made, called Re-Hormones and the Like, and it was to Moonfire 1777, because I was so astounded by it. And it's a pretty shoddy video. I was kind of was worried about the scars that were on my face. It's nice to have this kind of thing because you can't really tell. I was wearing a hat and these cheap sunglasses, and I was laying on the side of a bed, and it was in the old Rome, in the Vatican, but they seem to have changed many things, and they've changed a lot of things since then. So I don't know how ancient I can ascribe them to be. I don't want this to be a slam on Roman Catholics at all. But somebody wrote a very mean message to Archbishop Lazar, since Archbishop Lazar came to my defense when I speak about transgender people, because transgender people are not homosexuals. The description was of the message, or of the video that he made. The video they made is another response re-transgender, and the description says, Some responses are worthy of detailed answers and discussion. However, others, while cast in smarmy language and mean-minded, are unworthy of such. Are unworthy. Such is one that I have responded to here. The little place where I used to live like a year ago. But I will, I'll actually put a link to the video below. And recently, Archbishop Lazar, I'm Eastern Orthodox, and the Eastern Orthodox Church is a very ancient church. I would say it's the most ancient historically. I mean, there's the only one that could claim to be as ancient would be the Roman Catholic Church